Hello YouTube world, Liam the Deaf Do Metalhead here, and I'm doing a kind of random video today because I've received a lot of things in the post over the last couple of months, and trying to find the time to do kind of specific videos for them isn't really working for me at the moment. So I thought I'll just do a random video where I kind of show some stuff and try and give it as much information as I can so you can check it out for yourselves. But before I do that, I mustn't forget this. So this morning I received a big box of CDs, and this is the new Consecration EP that's being put out through Cavernous Records on November the 19th. If you don't know who Consecration are, that is my band, Deaf Doom band, here in the UK. We've been going now over 12 years. And next year we're putting out a new full length through Redefining Darkness, but until then we thought we want some new music out and also an excuse to play some new stuff live. So we recorded 3 new tracks. 2 are originals from well over 12 years ago now that we've completely reworked. And yeah, I mean, look at those sexy bastards on the back there. Beards are in fashion on that day. So yeah, really chuffed Chris at Cavernous picked this up for us. Really cool, love the artwork. All the artwork's done by our vocalist Dan. So yeah, pre-orders for that are on the Bandcamp. I'll leave a link below, as well as new merch which we have got. It's being printed as we speak actually. So if you like that logo there with a kind of a bolt thrower vibe to it, which was the whole point behind it, go check it out. I won't say no more about it. So right, the first gift I received was a really unexpected gift. Chris Rankin, if you know him, he's a YouTuber whose name should hopefully pop up above here. He runs a YouTube channel that is fairly new, and he's a guy that kind of has a massive passion for metal and kind of all kind of genres of music, but he's a metalhead through and through. And he is a goldmine for new releases across the board, not just in death metal, but your thrash, your prog, you know, anything you can think of that's heavy metal, he knows about it. But he really comes into his strengths on his Facebook group. So he is the admin of a Facebook group called Headbangers. I think there's well over 12,000 members the last time I looked. And it's a community of just like-minded metalheads that just want to talk about heavy metal. Because Facebook, to me, to be honest, is quite shit. Don't really like it. I'm an Instagram kind of user. But the groups kind of save it for me, and I use Facebook mainly for family memories really, so I can remember what my kids looked like 3 or 4 years ago. It's kind of all I do with it now. But Chris kind of puts on like pictures of new albums, and this year alone I've picked up at least 6 or 7 because of him, and this is one of them that he kindly sent to me all the way from Australia, and that is the new Crypt Crawler and the album Future Usurper. Now this has come out 2021 through Bitter Lost Records, and they are a Perth band, which is where Chris is based. I'm using my notes here so I don't fuck up anything. And I must say, I mean, their artwork is stellar. How fucking cool is that? Now these guys are a death metal band, as you might have gathered by that cover, but you know, you could have thought it was thrash. There's the back. But to me, this band have very strong ties to the band Death. So if you're a fan of spiritual healing and that kind of period of death, maybe human as well, it's killer, absolutely killer. Never heard of these guys before. Picture of the band there, and if you spot there is a Controlled Denied t-shirt in the middle, so it kind of gives you a hint. But they're a bit heavier than Death, or what Death were anyway. These guys have the kind of technical elements of Death in the drumming side of it and the kind of riff phrasings, but the vocals can go a bit more deeper, and you know, there's a bit more bollocks to it, if you say. And yeah, Chris just messaged me out of the blue saying, I'm sending you this as VCLT, I hope you enjoy it. Insane generosity, and obviously I will be returning the favour. But it's just insane how cool this album was. I mean, I've never heard a note of it. I refuse to listen to things until I buy it nowadays. I'll stream the odd track, but when he said he was sending it to me, I thought, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm going to just listen to it when it arrives. And the vinyl was stunning. Absolutely stunning. And look how cool that looks. Fits the cover perfectly, and it sounds amazing. So yeah, really happy with that. Amazing gift. So like I say, go check out Chris's YouTube channel, subscribe, and say I sent you if you're new to his channel. Doesn't post too often because he's a busy boy, but his Facebook group, which I'll leave a link to below as well, is well worth your time because the information he puts on there is insane. And like I say, if you're a collector like me and you're kind of after some new albums, he is the man to kind of talk to because he knows so much about so many different genres. It's insane. That's not gonna stay closed, is it? Piss off. Right, being a dick. Right, anyway, next band is a band I'm fairly familiar with, also an Australian band, but these guys are more of a thrashy kind of death metal band. Now this is also a special release because you can't buy it anywhere. It's a collector's item. And I was speaking to Steve, I have to check the name, get it right, because there's two brothers in this band. They're like the AC/DC of the thrash death metal world in Australia. The band in question is Aeons Abyss. These guys are based out of, I want to say Melbourne, but I could be dead wrong. So Steve, if you watch this, or even Paul, massively sorry if I got that wrong. But I was speaking to Steve on Instagram and he was kind of teasing people with this kind of release, doing all that, you know, fancy pictures here and there, and you're like, oh, what's that? So I messaged him and he messaged me to say, look at this, and he sent me the pictures of it. So what this is, it's essentially their debut EP, which was only released digitally, I believe. All the singles they released during lockdown in 2020 and the latter parts of 2019, I think, which you can hear online, but they're now on this tape. And also a live recording they did this year with the band as a whole, because they've always been a kind of like a two-man project, Paul being the vocals, Steve the guitar, and I think they have another brother as well that was involved with the band. But they now have a full band, and you can see the kind of Instagram videos of them rehearsing in the living room or somewhere in someone's house, which I find amazing because I'd never be able to do that here. But he said to me, like, if you pay postage you can have a copy of it, and I was like, absolutely, because it's a collector's piece. And that's the cassette there, print on two sides, and it's fantastic. I mean, the shell as well got that kind of green look to it with a clear, which works really nice. And if you look at the J card here, you'll see you've got the EP here, and then pictures of the single artwork, some live pictures of the band when they did the live studio recording of some tracks, which you can hear on here. And it sounds amazing. I mean, like, I know Brett, I talk to him on Instagram now and again. He's always doing really cool videos. He's somewhere in there. And yeah, just an amazing band that are putting out a new album, which is their second full length. I think it's the end of this week actually, so I might have tied this video in really well with that, called Terror Manifest. I haven't heard a note of that yet, but I'll probably pick it up because these guys are great. If you like that kind of Maiden-esque melody like thrash, that's the best way I could describe this band. But then the vocals sound like a demented Wolverine, just fucking, that wants to rip your throat out, essentially. Paul's vocals sound like no one else. They're just so over the top in a good way. It's like a really wild animal that just wants to hurt you. It's all I can describe it as, because, and he doesn't even look that tall either, but he looks so violent when he does these vocals. He really puts his energy into it, and it comes across on the songs so well. But like musically, these guys are very melodic, and Steve's solos and all that are very, very almost like classically trained kind of style. Almost, you can see it in his guitar playing. Very, very melodic, and you know, really, really cool band, and they sound like no one else. So if you want to hear some kind of death thrash, but not in your typical thrashy riffs with just death metal vocals stuck on top, these guys kind of break songs down in a different way, use a lot of different time signatures to make it way more interesting than what you would normally get with death thrash. So I can't recommend Aeons Abyss enough. So great guys, and thank you for that, Steve. Right, next one is an even more random one. So I now get messages from bands, not often, but very rarely. Sometimes it'll happen like 1 or twice a week, but this one was a strange one. So I got a band from the Ukraine message me to say, will you check out our band? And normally I'll get these kind of spam ones for like PR companies that are going to say, oh, check out all these bands. And I'll say to them, I can't do it because it's not a physical release. Because the whole point of this channel is, yeah, you can show digital releases. Got no issue with YouTubers doing that. This isn't really what that is. This is more of a collector's kind of channel, and trying to promote the underground that way and show the physical release, because the underground is only worth doing if you can make money selling your music. If people are just going to check it out on Bandcamp, not buy it, or you know, they'll stream it on Spotify, essentially you're not going to make any money. And if you do make any money, it's fuck all. Like Spotify for my band, it's very rare you see it turn up, you know, maybe 20 quid tops in the space of 3 months if you're lucky. So yeah, it's not worth doing. But these guys messaged me and I said, okay, you know, I can check it out, but like I say, it's a physical channel. And they said, no problem, we'll send you a CD. I was like, all right, cool. And it turned up. I mean, I've never heard of the band before, and you know, this was a massive learning experience for me, because this band push boundaries I didn't know existed in metal. So the band, I probably won't pronounce it right, it's Hyperboreus, and the album is called Fighting with God. Now, they're from the Ukraine, they're a two-piece. There's the back there. Happy looking chaps. But this is death metal, but in a jazz fusion context. So if you like the band Atheist, you kind of get where I'm coming from. Because these guys are well over the top. I mean, like, well over the top. I mean, this was a hard listen for me. Now, the album cover is also really deceptive because it's got that kind of classical look to it. Mythological, is that a word? Look to it, which I thought was quite cool. But then this other side of the book is a space theme to it. And then looking through the artwork, starts, you know, I'm not sure what the story it revolves around or what. I'm not that intelligent. You know, and the book looks really nice. You've got loads of different pictures. Picture of the lads there at the seaside, you know, looking really happy. But it's just, I mean, some of the artwork is just proper random. Look at that one there. So yeah, this was a really hard listen. Technically, it's over the top, like, I mean, massively over the top, like the kick drum just like, and then you got, I mean, the blast, and I mean, there's like space bits. I don't really understand how it went from that to that, but it did. And yeah, it was an interesting listen. I mean, the strange thing about it, the CD they sent, which looks like that, that is actually a data disc, so it didn't play on my CD player anyway. So I had to rip it to my computer, burn it with a CDR, and do it that way. So if you're watching this, guys, that might be something you need to check out if you understand what I'm coming from. But yeah, I mean, it was just weird. I mean, there's a picture of them there wearing masks. Even more unusual. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not terrible at all. It was just, for me, I'm such a simple-minded person with my death metal, my doom. It has to go in 4/4s or, you know, in 5s, and then you change it now and again with certain time signatures. This is just all over the fucking place. Insane. Technically, I mean, the bass, the guitars, everything is, I mean, they're very, very good musicians if they can play like that. If you like Meshuggah and that kind of thing, you know, you're going to get a kick out of this. I'll obviously leave a link below and you can give it a try yourself, but this was a very, very hard listen. And I know these guys are going to push boundaries, and they probably won't care if people think, oh, it's too technical and that, because they're obviously going for that sound. But, you know, I'm happy to promote bands. You know, if they've got the time to kind of take my channel into account and look up, you know, what I'm talking about, I'll obviously help them out if I can. So go check these lads out, because that was really cool. But very, very, very difficult to get through. Very difficult. Right. Last pile is all cassettes, all death metal. And I won this little stack in a competition. This was all sent to me by a guy called Stan Root, based out in the States. He has an Instagram channel, which I'll leave a link to below. And he is a death metal warlord, as it were. He plays some really sick kind of guitar riffs, which is how I got into his channel in the first place, or his page, sorry. And he always does giveaways, like all little random giveaways of cassettes. And he would give away this pile, and all you have to do is literally leave a comment and tag someone else. And they always enter those kind of competitions, because people are that generous to give away music like that. You know, I'm all for supporting them people. And he sent me a box of 7 tapes, all the way from the States, free of charge. Insane. And he also included his Unimaginable Terror Dead demo 2021, which is this here. Now this is no nonsense basement dwelling death metal, really raw, really brutal, which is how I kind of got into Stan's music in the first place. The way he plays guitar, and that kind of resonated with me. Tape looks like that, and this actually got put out through Goat Throne Records, which was quite cool. And I'll show you a picture of the J card of the man in question. There he is there, looking really happy. But yeah, this was, you know, a really nice surprise, because I saw this and I thought, oh, I didn't mind picking it up. And then you see the postage just for one tape, and it just kind of ruins the deal for us people here in the UK. You know, the Americans, there's so many distros they have, and they can always pick up all the good releases. Here in the UK, you know, you get a few now, and it's starting to pick up a bit more. But stuff like this, you know, Goat Throne, I've never seen anything of theirs here in the UK yet. And I think they're a Texas-based label. But that was really, really cool. But then what he sent me was 6 Desert Wasteland releases on cassette. Now, none of these I heard before. And normally when you enter a competition, you win something like a big stack. There's always one weak album or something that doesn't really resonate. All these were spot on for me, and I loved all of them. Like, they were brilliant, all of them. All blind listens, never heard of any of these before, and they were killer. So the first band, he sent me 2 tapes with the band Throat Breach. Sounds happy, doesn't it? Now, this one here is called Hideous. This is their second full length, which came out in 2018, and then Humiliating Distortion, which came out in 2020. Now, this is a one-man death metal project out of Utah by the name of Ian Turpin. And if you like early Carcass, you're kind of in that ballpark of what this sounds like. They sound well over the top. This was probably my favourite one by memory. Well, it might have been this one, I can't remember now. But one of them has better production. I think it might have been this one. But it's just insane how brutal it is. No, it was this one. It was definitely this one because the cover reminds me, you know, that was what attracted me to this in the first place. I think that one, cover-wise, is a bit naff compared to what that looks like. But this was insane. Absolutely insane. Well over the top. And yeah, I just couldn't get enough of it. It was absolutely brutal. If you can look at the back there, how many tracks is on there, you kind of get an idea of the song lengths. But it's kind of programmed drums, over the top, guttural vocals, brilliant riffs, just really fucking nasty death metal. When, you know, when I'm working, I don't really want to concentrate too much on the music. I kind of just want it as background noise. This did the job perfectly. And then he sent this one, which is again completely new band to me. This one is a Californian based band. This came out in 2018 as an EP from a 2-man project by the name of Boethiah. And this is Celestial Gateway. This EP here is brilliant. This is probably my favourite of the whole bunch, probably just by a marginal bit. HM2 driven sci-fi death metal. Now, if that doesn't intrigue you at all, I don't know what will, because it had that 80s kind of sci-fi kind of interludes in it, like sound bites and stuff like that, that kind of hooks you into it, with that really reverbed alien voice speaking back to you, like a kind of computer drone voice. And then it just hits you with these sick riffs. It's just so good. Absolutely superb, with a HM2 driven tone to it. Solos kind of got that kind of trebly, like lukewarm chorus kind of sound. It gives it kind of sci-fi theme. Tape looks like that. And this was brilliant. Again, another completely new band to me. Never heard of it before. And it was amazing how cool that was. I really, really enjoyed that. So that's massive, that was. And then the next one got even better. This is probably my second favourite, but you know, tied for first possibly. And that is Paingiver with Deorum Mortis. I'm shit at pronouncing band names. I keep getting reminded every day. But this is amazing. So this is a Houston, Texas band. This is a 2020 EP. Death Doom in the vein of Crypts. You know, it's a little bit of spectral voice, but the production on this is fucking amazing. The guitar tone is spot on. The vocals really deep, really guttural, but not in a over the top way where you can't really get into it. It's just that kind of more bollocks to it. It kind of emphasizes the heaviness. And it's amazing. I absolutely love this. Really, really cool band. Got no information on them whatsoever online when I tried to look. So I couldn't tell you when they formed or who's in the band. It's just spot on. Absolutely amazing. If you haven't checked this one out, go check this one out as well, because it's absolutely killer. It's so heavy and so riffy. Because like I say, if you like Crypts and that kind of thing, you know, you'll like that anyway. So that was really cool. And then there was 2 international bands to kind of round off this pile. Then this is an Italian death metal band in the vein of Hate Eternal, Hideous Divinity, Flesh God Apocalypse, but without the whole fancy, you know, symphonic shit. And this band is called Continuum of Zul. This is their debut EP/demo that came out in 2019. Like I say, very fast, very brutal, Hate Eternal-esque pretty much. You know, if you like Hate Eternal, you'll like this. If you like Hideous Divinity, you'll like this. You know, it's well over the top, blasty, shreddy, intense. 4 tracks? Yeah, 4 tracks. You know, and I believe there's a full length after this that you can go check out. I haven't heard that yet. But that was really cool. I really liked that. And the cassette was like a silvery kind of marble look. But yeah, just no nonsense death metal. I mean, Italian bands, a lot of them sound like this. You know, they're kind of technically amazing and just sheer brutality involved. So yeah, that was really nice. And then the last one is a remaster that came out last year, and it's been remixed and remastered, but it originally came out in 2008. The band are from Santiago, Chile. Try and pronounce that in a British accent. And the band is called Inanna, or something like that. Now again, never heard of this band before, but I know a lot of people will, because it's quite a cool album. The tape looks like that. But this again is like kind of sci-fi-esque to a point, but more mystical to me. It wasn't really, I mean, it looks sci-fi looking at that, but it really isn't. It's kind of technically proficient death metal, shall we say. It's got loads of great riffs, melodies that layer those riffs and build the songs, and this is well over 40 minutes long, and it's just brilliant. I loved it. A really strong album. I can see why it got remastered. And it, you know, you've got Doom of Mankind, Beyond Time and Memory, kind of, I don't know what the word is, I'm trying to find in my head, but that kind of takes you to a different world, shall we say, when you're listening to it. It's got that vibe to it. And yeah, an amazing album. And I don't know why he would have given all these away, because they're all killer to me, but I won't complain. So thank you, Stan, for sending me them. Like I say, go check out his bands on his Bandcamp and his Instagram, you know, and get involved, because he's an amazing dude. And that will end this video. So like I say, thank you very much to Chris for sending me stuff. Thank you for Steve for sorting me out with the Aeons Abyss tape. Thank you to Stan for that fucking amazing pile of filthy death metal. Thanks to the boys in the Ukraine for sending me the most technically challenging death metal album I've ever heard. And if you want some filthy death doom from the UK, go check out my band Consecration's new EP on Bandcamp below and see what you think. Until then, please like this video if you enjoyed it and consider subscribing. Thank you to everyone that watches my videos, and a massive cheers to Ken for including me on his stream the other night. Until then, I will talk to you in the comments section. Cheers!